G'day guys, and welcome to our very first episode in our mini-series in the lead up to Operation Eastern Predator. If you don't know what Eastern Predator is, you can check out all the details at milsimeast.com. You can buy your tickets on there, get involved in our forums, as well as follow us on social media and all those great places. The objective of this video series is to give you guys some bite-sized pieces and sort of compress and compile that information that's sort of spread a little bit all over our forums so that it's easier for you guys to get a hold of what's going on, understand the rules, and basically get some answers to those questions that are floating all over the internet, on social media, and on our forums. So this video today, what I'd like to talk about is the medic rules. And I know there's been a lot of talk about the medic rules and how they're going to play out. And I know the command team has been very, very hard at work putting the medic rules together and play testing them and making sure that they're going to work out quite well for us. And yeah, I think we've gotten to a point now where we're ready to go and ready to show you guys what we've got. So the first thing I want to talk about is what counts as a hit, because a lot of people get a bit confused about this because it tends to change from field to field. With Milsim East's Operation Eastern Predator, any gel ball that hits your person, be it your helmet, your plate carrier, any part of you, including your rifle, so even if it hits you on the tip of the suppressor, that still counts as a hit. So if you haven't played gel ball before and you're not really sure how this works when you get hit, you know, in Milsim, it's sort of a little bit different. So there's a couple similarities. First one is you put your hand up and you yell hit. So that tells the player that we're shooting at you, one, to stop shooting at you, and two, that they have successfully hit you and that you've acknowledged that. Now in Milsim, we want to really push for that simulation, for that immersion. So this is a good time to drag out those year 9, year 10 drama classes, and you can really put it on. You can really lay it on thick that you've been hit, you can fall down, sort of writhing in pain. And that's not only just going to help the immersion for the players around you and sort of add that tension to the area, but it also lets your teammates know, oh no, we've lost one of our own, he needs attention. All right, so the next component to this is what happens once you've been hit. How do we manage that? Okay, so you've been hit and you're down on the floor. So in order to get back into the game, we use something called a mate bandage, and it looks a little bit like one of these. All this is a piece of Velcro, high visibility, so it tells the players around you that you've already been hit when you're wearing it. And this mate bandage, this tourniquet, makeshift tourniquet, can only be applied by one of your mates, by one of your teammates. You can't put it on yourself. So you'll be on the ground and you need help. So you call out to your teammates, or they hear you hit the ground, they hear you writhing in pain, and they come out and they get this. Now it's important that you keep this somewhere on your person. Even if you don't have a plate carrier or any fancy gear, you need to keep it somewhere where it's easy to get at. So if you do run a plate carrier, maybe somewhere in a front utility pocket, especially if you've got like a lot of pouches, keep it somewhere really visible, or keep it in a pouch that's clearly marked medical so people know that's where to get your mate bandage. Now you're not allowed to help the person that is aiding you to put this on to find it, locate it. You can tell them where it is, but you're not allowed to get it out for them. You're not allowed to help them put it on. So make sure you got it in a spot where you can very clearly say, oh, it's in my left pouch, or it's all tucked under my belt, or it's in my pocket. So when they've got their mate bandage, or your mate bandage, they need to apply it to you. So the way they do that is they can put it over your arm. And again, they'll be doing this, not you. Wrap it around, Velcro it, a quick tap on the chest or a tap on the shoulder or on the helmet to let you know, good to go. And you're ready to go again. Now, while you're being healed, while you're having that bandage applied, the person who's helping you, they're not immune to damage. They can be hit, they can be shot, and they can be in the exact same position. So it's really important that you use your teammates around you and operate as a squad, operate as a unit to make sure that you are securing that person. So if you've got a mate down, doing as you would in the real world, you're going to secure a perimeter around that person while they get that medical attention until they're ready to go again. Now we look at the second step, the next stage. What happens if you get hit again? Well, if you get hit again and you've already got your mate bandage on, that means the only person that can heal you is a medic. So you'll call your shot, you've been hit, you'll fall to the ground, and you can yell something like medic. And that's going to obviously bring the attention that you need a medic brought to you, or maybe your squad signaler can signal that you need one out to that position. Now the medic, what they're going to do is they're going to come to your aid. They're not just going to come out and just take that mate bandage straight off. What they're going to give you is a bottle of water, which is your virtual IV. You're going to drink that bottle. You're going to drink the contents of that bottle, be it 300 ml, 600 ml, whatever's in there, all the way till it's finished. But until you're finished that bottle and you hand that empty bottle back to your medic, he is not going to remove that mate bandage and you're not going to be able to go again. Something that's been asked is time limits. How long do you have when you hit for a heal or for a mate to attend to you and put your mate bandage on before you're considered dead? Now at Operation Eastern Predator, that is 5 minutes, and that is why it is so important that you have a watch. Something preferably a bit tough, it'll be in the pack list. Don't bring a smart watch or something, they get broken so easily. Just even a cheap digital watch, just something that you can keep track of 5 minutes, whether you run a timer or whether you just make a note of it. From the time you get hit and fall down, you have 5 minutes to be healed. If you've already got your bandage on and you've got to be seen by a medic, same deal, 5 minutes to be seen by the medic. If you don't get seen by the medic or you don't get healed by your mate in that time, you are dead and you have to go back to respawn. Which brings me to the next point. So what happens? Your 5 minutes has run out, you're dead, and now you've got to go back to the spawn point. So it's not like speedball where you just run back to the checkpoint and you start again. There's a fair whack. We have a 3.5 square kilometer area of play, so it's quite significantly large, and that means in some cases, yeah, you will be humping it 1.5 kilometers, 2 kilometers in some cases, depending on how far out in the AO you are, to get to that casualty collection point or to get to your cop so that you can respawn it. So you're dead, you're on the ground, you're going, oh, 5 minutes, damn it, didn't get healed. So how do you move back to your cop? Well, you're performing what's called an out-of-game move, or an admin move as we call it. And what this means is that obviously we can't simulate this, so there's sort of a situation where you have to just have to get up and walk away. Now the way that is done, and this is where a lot of people have been asking, what's the deal with safety flags? All right, safety flags. Your safety flag, and I'll talk about how you can make one of these in a minute, is not provided to you by the event. So your mate bandage, you will get on the day. You don't have to source one of these. You'll get one of these provided to you at registration. Your safety flag, you need to provide yourself. And now what a safety flag is, it's a piece of red or reflective orange material. Please don't bring yellow, like reflective yellow. It has to be orange or red that looks like this. And what you do is you wear it on your person to signal to people that that you're respawning, that you're doing an out-of-game move. And there's a couple other reasons where you'll need this as well. We'll talk about that in a sec as well. So how have I made this one? This is literally a 30-cent like oversized flag, the sort of flag you'd see on a plumber's vehicle or a building construction vehicle when they've got a load that's sticking too far out the back of the ute. This is what they're using. And all I've done, it already comes as 30 cents, and it already comes with this shoelace. So you can already tie it onto things. To make it a little bit easier for me, I've also put this little clip on the top of it, so that way I can clip it onto things like my kit. I've also got this piece of Velcro. Again, this doesn't come with it, something I've thrown on afterwards. And this Velcro means I can stick it onto my kit, or I can stick it onto my hat or my helmet or whatever I'm wearing, so that people can see that I'm performing that move. So when I'm dead and I'm going back to the spawn collection point, I'm very clearly displaying this flag. And generally we say it's a good idea to wear it up on your helmet, maybe behind on your helmet. So if I've got a hat on like this, and I've got it, say, Velcroed onto the back of my hat, because I mean, not everyone's got a helmet. You can fairly clearly see, I look a bit silly, but you can see pretty clearly from all angles that I'm doing something that's out of game. So, and again, you don't have to put it on your hat, you can tie it onto your arm. Basically, you just want to make sure that people can tell that you're wearing it. All right, now I also promised to tell you what else we use this for. It's not just for admin moves. If we get a ceasefire, so that's when someone calls ceasefire, and you obviously echo that so that everyone around you hears a ceasefire. And we'll be talking about that on the day when we use that, when you can use that. When you hear ceasefire, you display this flag. And what it does, it's a visual warning to everyone around you that we are no longer shooting at each other. So obviously you don't shoot at people who are displaying this. So if everyone's wearing one, no one's shooting at anyone. There will be some cases where we will be doing CASEVAC. So there may be a light vehicle available that'll come out and it's not going to go bush bashing for you, mate. So you will be instructed to obviously move to a particular area to be collected. But say like a significant part of the squad goes down. In some instances, command may assign a light vehicle to come out and collect that squad, to pull them back to the casualty protection point so they can rearm, so they can heal, and the whole 9 yards. And then either they'll be humping it out there, or maybe they'll be inserted again by a vehicle. So we don't want people thinking, oh, I've been killed, I'm immediately there's going to be a vehicle that's going to pick me up in style. And there's not always going to be that. Again, it's a mil sim. It's important that you guys understand that. There's one other thing I want to touch on in this video. I want to keep it pretty short, so I'm just going to leave it at this. And that's the difference between combatants and non-combatants.
This is a non-combatant or a civilian. I'm unarmed, I have no weapon on me. This is a combatant. This is a combatant that's about to fire at you.
With the ROE, so the rules of engagement for the coalition, you're not allowed to engage a non-combatant. So when they don't have their weapon up, or they don't have a weapon at all, they're a non-combatant. They're not going to be someone that you can shoot. You're going to say, oh look, there's militia, I'm going to shoot him. If he hasn't got his weapon up, if he is not a threat, he can't shoot you. And in some cases, there may be changes to the ROE where it says you're not allowed to shoot at militia until they shoot at you first. Or maybe there's another change in the ROE later in the game where you are allowed to do that. And again, these things will evolve depending on the decisions that players make, the way they interact with NPCs, and the way that they may or may not achieve an objective that they're given by command. As always, we highly recommend that you guys like and subscribe and click that little bell icon so you get notified. All of our videos will be going up on this YouTube, so this is the place to keep an eye on. We'll obviously cross-post those links onto our Facebook, and they'll also be up in the forums as well. But if you subscribe here, you'll definitely be the first to know. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I hope it has been informative and you haven't fallen asleep. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you out there in the field at Operation Eastern Predator. Bye for now.